What's going on? What's going on? All right, but we good. How y'all doing? Just trying to get my little stuff together. Let me fix my backlight. Mm, all right, I think we good. What's up? What's up? Somebody said, "Oh snap, everybody sleeping." Yeah, I don't know where people at. I know we had probably a 3 hour, 20-minute live last week, and again, yeah, I was there. So we had the technical difficulties. We got back on and did another 2 hours and 38 minutes. But I just didn't like the cutoff. So for everybody who was there, you just get a bonus one. We're not going to go 3 hours tonight. We probably cut it off at about 2 hours, 1.5 to 2 hours. But it's just nice to talk to y'all again. Somebody said, I can't believe there are only at the time 11 people. Yeah, a lot of people are either busy or got their fix with the 3.5 hours. So, that happens. I'm not mad at that. People may trickle in as we do this, and they may not. But we have an opportunity to have a good conversation and to answer a lot of questions from the people who are here. So, that's what that is. So, um, we jumping right into questions. That's what I want to see. I want to make sure I covered all the bases. Wait, was there anything else I need to tell you? I don't think. I guess that's it. That's what I want to tell you. So uh, on this live, from this point on, any live we do, the easiest thing we've done, because that was the first time we've ever got completely cut off like that, or the first time in over a year. So the easiest thing to do is, if for whatever reason I freeze or this live gets cut off, do not refresh your page. Do not like stay in the comment section and wait for us to drop the link in the comment section, because while I'm on one computer, my wife is moderating on a whole nother device. She's on the whole nother device, so she'll just drop the link in the comment section, and anytime we get knocked off a live, we get kicked out, something stupid like that again happens, instead of trying to email people in mass numbers, because the email systems can only email so many people a minute, which takes a lot of people a while to get their links. My wife would just drop the link in the comment section, and you can just go right to the next live. So just chill for a couple minutes. When she gets the link, she'll put it in the comment section, and then you just all click on that, and you join me at that live. And that way, we don't even have to deal with the email system. Everybody here can get into the next live. So yes, for those of you, the 26 of you who are here right now, if something happens with the live, if something happens with the feed, just tell everybody to stay put, because immediately like 30, 40, 50, 90 people be dropping out, and then you can't tell them where to go because they dropped out. So everybody, if we do have any issues, just tell everybody to wait, remind people to just stay in the chat, and we'll put the new link in the chat, and that way it's streamlined. It doesn't take but a couple of minutes, and everybody gets what they need. Some more me. With that said, we're going to dig into this topic, or whatever the topic might be. Again, it's free for all. Whatever you want to talk about in the world, we can talk about here. It's still just the people who have access, so it's still not a public live. So that's another reason why there are not that many people, because it's still not public. It's still link only. So those of you who are here had a link because you either purchased or you were given a free ticket. Last time we went live, last week, man, somebody bought like 5 tickets. 5 free tickets for whoever couldn't afford it. And while I gave away those 5 tickets, I get so used to clicking. It went so fast that I just gave away like 7 or 8 or 9 more tickets, maybe even 10. I probably gave away like 10 tickets. At the end of it, it was like 20 more people that was in my inbox DM on Instagram. So I don't know how I went from 5 to 9 to 13 to 20, but I did. I must have been clicking a lot, but I shared the link with a lot of people. So we do have a lot of people that didn't get to come back in because they didn't have that email link, and they weren't a part of the original ticket sale. So anyway, we're gonna dig into this, and like I said, just add your question to the comment section. When I run out of questions, I'm gonna get up off of here. But I want to make sure I got to everybody who has something to say. Um, with that said, Aiza Lachey. I hope I didn't butcher your name. I usually don't even try to pronounce it, but that's a beautiful name. She said, well, my first question as a 24-year-old woman with a 9-month-old daughter is, what advice would you give me on how to handle men of my age group? I don't want to date them. I want them to stay away. Just be non-responsive. You have a daughter, you're trying to focus on parenthood, you're trying to focus on being an effective mother, and those things might distract you. Chasing a man is definitely going to be a distraction if the right guys don't come to you. A lot of guys are time wasters, and they don't care if you have a child. They don't care if you have better things to do. There are some good men, though. There are some men who really want to be a part of a family, and maybe for whatever reason don't have their own, or can't necessarily have their own. There are men who really care for women and care for kids. So there are some decent men out here. But if you want them to stay away, just be non-responsive. Nothing. Indifference is generally a pretty good deterrent. Most people only go where they're celebrated. A few people like to go where they're tolerated, and almost no one likes to go where they're ignored or they have no attention. So just be indifferent, and that's how you get them to stay away. If you give them attention, they'll keep coming. You'll feed the beast, the monster. Shakey's channel, love and respect, shows up to everything. I appreciate you. She says, you don't have me up past midnight up again. Yeah, don't have me up past midnight again. I was dying the other day last weekend. Yeah, I was dying too. I was so tired. I bet my eyes was red by the end of it. I was just trying to make sure that everybody got their 3 hours, and I didn't remember how much time we spent on the first live, and then the second live went down. It was like, damn. So the third time's a charm. We went for 2 hours and 30 something minutes, but I can even remember what that middle one was about. It was just we was on three different links trying to figure out how to just have this conversation, and all the conversations was so good that I didn't want to like cut it off, and I wanted to make sure everybody got their time, especially after we went down. So we're not gonna be after past midnight. The latest I'll stay on here tonight is 11:30 at the absolute latest. But like I said, if I've answered all the questions by then, we're gonna just I'll catch y'all later. I'm not mad at that. Let me see. Carly Carls says, "Hi. Why would a guy stop responding after asked about himself after months?" Um, Rephrase that. Oh, he ghosted, but I don't know why. Because communicating was our strong point. If a guy ghosted, he most likely had found a different distraction. Found himself interested in another woman. That's what likely happened. But again, I wouldn't worry myself or concern myself with why a person leaves. Just let them go. And when they come back, don't be there. Don't be in the same place waiting for them. Even if you're still available, if somebody can ghost you in that way, in that fashion, it's not necessarily a good idea to re-engage. It doesn't really do you any favors because they haven't become a different person, most likely. And most of the time when a ghost comes back, they don't really have a legitimate excuse. They're not even really being honest about why they ghosted in the first place. The honest truth is most of the time they chose somebody else, but they will never say that. I got busy with work. Who got so busy with work that they didn't have time to live their own lives? Most people who say that don't even have great enough jobs to be that damn busy, especially when you're young. Like people be working at the local grocery store. Like, well, got busy with work. All right. That's what's up. You might be able to work a lot of overtime, but you still take breaks. You take lunch breaks. You have to travel. You have to poop, shit, sleep, eat, relax. You had to go to sleep at night. Like there's downtime in everybody's day. So, the busy excuse really doesn't work for me and doesn't work for most people. So even if the ghost said, "Oh, I got busy," it doesn't really matter. But like I said, you shouldn't really be in the same place when the ghosts come back. Even if they, apologize, accept the apology, but be moving on. CJ58 says, or 58, I'm sorry, says, can you talk about keeping your spiritual connection while dating? Helps with discernment. Yeah. This enlightening phase when they finally gotten past the grief of loss when they're dating someone, or when they get disappointed in a breakup, or they miss an opportunity with a crush, right? So they finally get themselves together. They have peace. They have this tranquil vibe going on, and they meet another person, and that person immediately becomes the focus, and they put down all those things that gave them the passion and the peace to begin with, right? The things that attracted a new person, that peace, that confidence, that tranquility, their journey. So if somebody was praying a certain number of times a day, certain people were reading or studying a certain amount of time a day, they'll start to try to do it more efficiently because they have something on their minds, or they'll go away from doing it at all because they wake up and they're so distracted by the thoughts of this person or that person being with them that they just get away from their what they do. Or from an emotional standpoint, because it feels so good to be, wanted or liked or be getting attention from someone you like, you don't feel as though you need it because yourself in the same way. Okay, so it's saying my connection is unstable. If this happens again, all right, I think we good. Again, I'm gonna repeat it one more time. If my connection goes unstable, if for whatever reason we get kicked off, just stay in the comment section and we will put a new link right in the comment section. Give us like 30 minutes. I'm sorry, give us like 1 to 3 minutes. We'll get a new link in the comment section and you just all click on another comment, click on that link and we'll go right into the next live. I'll just skip to a different live, so don't worry about it. Anyway, yeah, people get away from the thing that gave them the peace, and that was the very thing that most people are attracted to: that confidence, that peace, that contentment, right? That gratitude. Those are very contagious emotions and very contagious mindsets. And when you get away from those things, not only do you become less attractive and more needy, but you also, lose the discernment and lose the decision making ability that you have to guide you through some of the mess that people will present to you, right? People will try to sell you shit and you'll eat it if you don't have that part of yourself. And so it's just really important that you always take a step back and operate your critical thinking skills to make sure that you don't put yourself in a position where you've been fooled and you don't know how you got in this position. Too often, like I said on my video, people tell me, oh my God, I don't know how I got into this. I don't know what happened. And it's clear they just lost focus on what matters and they started chasing somebody. So just don't allow yourself to do that. Um, Somebody said tips on dating when you're over 50. Yes, when you're over 50, it's really important that you're in the best shape that you can be in, simply because, first of all, health is a concern after 30. Health just isn't, it's something that we all have even after 30. I remember after my 30th birthday, I was like, oh my God, why do I feel so messed up, so slow, right? So like I don't even heal the same as I did when I was 24, so we all have to be making sure we manage our health because after 50, that's a huge concern for people dating, right? No one wants to be a caretaker. And so if you're out of shape at 50 or if you are in bad health at 50, then, while a younger person might say, I have time, a 50-year-old man dating a 50-year-old woman who's not in the best shape or not taking care of herself is going to have to seriously consider a life as a caretaker to a spouse, right? Which isn't something that anybody, really dreams about. Again, the dream is always happily ever after. It's never, sad, downtrodden, in terrible health, caregiver ever after, right? And so just when you're up in age, when you matured, you have to make sure you're taking care of yourself so that the idea or the fear of health burdens isn't a thing that is making a decision for a man choosing you or not choosing you, right? We can all understand and relate to the idea that a person's vanity, especially a man's vanity, is going to assist him in making decisions if he has multiple options. We get that, we understand, but more than that, you don't want to be a health burden or appear to be a health burden as much as possible, especially up in age, because those get more deadly the older you get, right? So I've known people whose marriages and whose relationships has turned from romantic and loving to caregiver, usually through no fault of their own. But you do have to understand that there is some trepidation around getting with somebody who might not be of the best health, because again, we all are looking at our mortality, and it appears that mortality is closer to those who haven't taken care of themselves past 50. So as much as it might not be what some women like to hear, it's really important to make sure that you're in your best shape. Not necessarily the vanity of it is what we're serving, but we're serving just to make sure that we understand health as well. And people up in age are really more concerned about that than younger people. Younger people just assume we have more time, but people, time is limited and time flies, right? And so we don't want to waste our time by, first of all, not being in our best health, not being in our best shape, not being our most confident selves. But once you get past, even the looks or the optics, it's about making sure that, again, health as well. You can take care of yourself and you don't need anybody to take care of you, right? And you're looking at 20 years from now, from 50 to 70. It doesn't take a long time. Like 20 years is not very long. So if people are thinking about their futures, few people are trying to figure out, how to pick somebody up and put them in and insert someone into their lives that they might have to take care of. Unfortunately enough, it shouldn't be like that. We should all be open to doing the best for each other, but that's just not how, things are. When people are selecting, they're selecting based on their survival and based on their experience and based on their convenience, not necessarily what they could do for a person in a time of need. So I hope that helps. Also, understand that the 50-year-old men that you might encounter aren't necessarily the greatest at a few things, and they're pretty set in their ways a lot of times at that point, and they're also recovering from their own traumas. 50-year-old man who's been married a couple of times, or who's been in many relationships, even if he hasn't been married, has been disappointed so much that he's slower to trust than others, and he might have a longer process for falling in love, even though he should know what he wants. Sometimes it's very scary after you've been disappointed so many times. And so a lot of those guys come with a lot of baggage simply because they've been through too much trauma. And as much as women like to think that they're the only ones going through things, and as much as they, it's assumed that men just can do whatever they want because of the way they frolic sexually, it's really just not true. And a lot of guys have a lot of deep-seated trauma that they're still trying to work through. So just understand that a guy has issues, he has flaws, he has sensitivities too, and you're going to have to try to really force those vulnerable, honest, open, transparent conversations to get a connection quick and to understand what you're dealing with in each other. I hope that helps. So Ayodele says, if I'm concerned about a man's behavior, how should I approach him so that he can hear me? First, use I language, not you language. Avoid accusatory statements. Avoid charge words like, never, like absolutes. Charge words are usually absolutes, and they're used to accuse someone of either never doing something or always doing something. You language and not I language. When you're concerned about a man's behavior, that verbiage is actually 100% appropriate. Excuse me. Listen, I'm concerned that this thing that is happening in our relationship, or this behavior that I'm witnessing or I'm perceiving, can hurt our relationship. I'm afraid that this will cause this issue, or this will cause, said this as a result. And so just make sure that you're using I language and you're making it about the relationship, saving the relationship, and you're not demonizing the person, but you're vilifying and you're demonizing and you're accusing the behavior of causing the harm. Too often when we get into arguments, and I'll do a video about this soon, I've already got one mapped out and blueprinted, but most of the time when I talk about relationship stuff, like healthy relationship stuff, because a lot of people who watch me single, those videos flop and they don't do anything for my family because I can't make any money off of them. And until I get some interest, I just don't talk about it, because I'm trying to make money for my family, right, as well as help people. And so I'm not going to put out a bunch of videos that's going to go and flop. That's just not what I want to do, even though it's a lot of stuff that people need to hear. I do that in my one-on-one coaching. I talk about these things, but a lot of people don't know how to argue. And so the video that I want to put out, and I've already mapped out, is I think it's called 6 healthy ways to argue, or 6 tips to argue in a healthy way. And when you have an issue with a person, you have a concern, it always has to be one of the main points in that video will be it always has to be about the problem. It always has to be about the issue or the behavior. It can never be about the person, right? I want this behavior to stop, right? Not I hate you, but I hate your behavior, or I hate the result of the behavior, right? I hate the effect of the behavior, right? So it can never be you suck, you get on my nerves, I hate you. It's always got to be, this is a problem, this behavior, this manifestation of trauma, whatever it is, that thing is a problem, because a person can separate themselves from their mistakes, but they can't separate themselves from them. And if you point the finger at them and aren't clear about the behavior being different from them in your eyes, and sometimes they can internalize it as if they would never be good enough, when simply you're just requesting that they make an adjustment to something that they're doing. But anyway, think there are like 5 other tips in that video, and it'll come out soon enough. Probably next month. I know I have a lot of videos I'm gonna put out next month. I'll probably be upwards of 9 or 10 videos next month again. So we'll get that together. I still got 1 or 2 videos for this month to put out, so we'll get that video out soon. But they always flop. People like the most important videos I do, the most impactful and the most useful videos I do. It seems like they flop. They are not searchable because everybody's not talking. See it on Derek Jackson, or didn't see it on, I don't know, Matthew Hussey or whoever these guys. Like they didn't. If everybody if every popular person in the genre isn't talking about it, and then I put a video out about it, like the video don't do nothing. And because I don't follow the trends, I have a lot of videos. I do like 4 or 5 videos in a row that maybe do crap numbers, and then I'll do like 2 or 3 videos that I just guess right, because I'm not watching the rest of what the community of dating advice is doing. But I've picked up that anything I talk about relationships it, so I don't get any commercial revenue on it because it gets a third of the views that the average video about what not to do or guys to watch out for. If I talk about that, man, that should be going off. I'd be having 25, 30,000 views in the first day. Make all commercial revenue. It helps my family a lot. It gets my name ringing. As soon as I talk about something that's mature, it's like it just goes down. It's like wah, wah. And so while I still put that stuff out strategically, I have to make sure it's every 4th video or every 3rd video, because it's just how the world works. People want controversy. That's why a lot of the bullshit out here are popular. That's why it sells. That's why these people are instantly famous when somebody else can really be out here trying to help people. These assholes are instantly famous because it's controversy. Controversy shares well, but apparently good advice doesn't, because I don't hardly get any shares. Somebody said, when dating online, how long should you wait until you video chat or meeting face to face? When dating online, you should probably video chat pretty early. I mean, if you're already on a computer screen looking at somebody's words, I don't know if there's a much risk at all in just video chatting, as long as you're not adding your location or showing that layout to your house or anything like that. They don't have to know where you are, but video chatting is a safe alternative because they've probably watched a bunch of videos of you or pictures of you. So I don't think that anything's wrong with video chatting immediately, if necessary or possible, to get a glimpse of how people really respond genuinely. What I don't want people doing is online dating and then text messaging for a month. That's just stupid. It's fucking stupid. Stop texting these men and learn how to have a damn conversation, and stop talking about your damn social anxiety. It's amazing. People be face down, ass up. Fine. Have a conversation. Oh, I can't do that. I got social anxiety. If you can have sex, you can have a conversation. Even so, I think that it's okay for you to do your FaceTime thing, but a meeting face to face, you should have talked to that person for a couple of hours at least to get a feel for them and get enough information to attempt to judge what their vibe is, and maybe not if they're crazy. And if you're safe in meeting them, and always do so in a well lit place, publicly, and sometimes these meeting face to face for the first time in somebody's car dates are really, really dangerous. And a lot of women get kidnapped, and you already got in a getaway vehicle. If you got with somebody that's crazy and you try to show up and meet somebody in a car, that's a terrible idea. Well lit public place. Talk to him enough to kind of get a feel for what he's about. Before you meet them. A lot of people are being sex trafficked, trying to figure out how to, meet strangers. And so you just got to be very careful and be very strategic about how you move. I know they just found an Instagram influencer dead on the side of the road last month. And so that should be happening. So you just always have to be aware that no one thought it was going to happen to them until it happened to them. So you don't want to be that. Somebody said, April Woods, love and respect. Hold on. Yep. April Woods, love and respect. She says, I want a divorce, but I can't afford to leave. Any suggestions? Oh, leaving is free. Leaving is damn free. You might have to struggle. I don't know how many kids you got, but damn it, I'm gonna go on and struggle before I stay with somebody, especially somebody who's if they're abusive and things of that nature. If you can't afford to leave, you need to be saving your money. You need to get on a financial plan so you can afford to leave next year or next month. Excuse me. That came out of nowhere. But yeah, I've had a lot of clients that were in relationships that they just didn't want to be in anymore. They were either abusive or toxic in this way or that way. And they were causing a lot of damage to themselves. And so they were like, well, I would love to leave, but I can't afford it. You should be saving your money. You should be saving your crumbs and coins and trying to figure out how to get the money to get the hell up out of there. So, build a financial plan, figure out how much it takes for you to get out and be safe for 1 or 2 months. And while you're on that 1 or 2 months, you need to be figuring out how to get to the next 1 or 2 months. But I would almost rather leave and struggle a little bit to get away from the wrong person if it's a dire situation where you're being abused. Um, but yeah, get yourself on a financial plan. Stop watching dating YouTube and start watching finance YouTube. Too many people watching dating YouTube and they ain't got two nickels to rub together. And listen, I understand that a lot of women can find a guy with some money and that works, but you do not want to be in a place of need or dependency in a toxic relationship, right? Exhibit A, so just make sure that you always have your own. And if you don't even have like a job or have your own, accumulate savings or accumulate a nest egg so that if all else fails, you can afford to get the hell up out of there when the day comes. You don't have to have a whole lot, but you should have the deposit money for the average amount of rent in your area saved up. If you have a toxic relationship and you can't trust your partner. And you should probably have the money to get utilities turned on. So you should have maybe 2 months rent saved up in utility money. That way you can pay your first and last month rent if necessary. I don't know what the laws are in so many counties, but just have your shit together, have your money together. Don't put yourself in a position where you're stuck out here being treated like shit and you have to go home to it every day because you can't afford to do nothing else. What are some of the questions to ask on a first date to weed out F-boys? I guess ask a man what his idea of love is. What does he believe? What does he believe? In relationship to love. Does he believe in love? Has he ever been in love? Those type of things. A lot of times when a guy shows trepidation or a guy is hesitant to acknowledge the validity of love is because he himself hasn't either experienced it or doesn't have it to give. So anytime a guy seems a little bit hesitant or resistant to the idea of love, take that as a sign that you don't need to be trying to figure out how to change his mind and show him you're different. You need to be getting the hell up out of there, because any guy who's talking about, I don't know how people fall in love, or I don't believe in marriage, all of that type of shit, those guys are telegraphing trust issues, and guys who have trust issues generally can't be trusted. So that's the biggest red flag on a date, is when a guy expresses disdain or a disbelief for love, because generally it means he's not giving any out and doesn't have any to offer. Carly Carls, how you attract good-hearted men? The problem is not with the looks and income, but with the character. Yes, well, you attract good. First of all, women attract every type of man. Women ask me this every day. Every day I get some version of, how do you attract this type of man, or how do I stop attracting this type of man? If you find men are coming, they don't give a damn. They coming. All kinds of men are coming. The problem is most of y'all are responding to the shitty men because they're exciting. They appear to be alpha, because women don't know the difference between bravado and actual masculinity a lot of times. Not to minimize their intelligence. I'm just saying that we can look at the data. Women clearly think that manhood is some weak ass shit that, is being perpetuated by a lot of these guys out here. That's why they chase them instead of decent men. You attract kind-hearted men. You attract all kind of men, but you're responding. You're responding, and you're interacting, and you're giving time to, and you're investigating the shitty ones. So it becomes more of a question of judgment than how to attract this type of man or that type of man. The only way you wouldn't be attracting good-hearted men is if you're presenting yourself in a certain way, or you are carrying yourself in a way that isn't necessarily respectable to men who have a lot of self-respect. So I mean, it could be something you're doing, but I wouldn't assume that you're carrying yourself in the wrong way. So all things equal, if you carry yourself right, you're attracting good men too. You're just not looking back at them when they look at you, or you're dismissing them because you think they're too nice. You've created an idea in your head that if a guy is not more of a challenge, then he must be less valuable. There are a lot of things that you could be doing your selection process, but I can guarantee if you appear to be a decent person with self-respect, good-hearted men have liked you as much as these weak men, but you've just chosen the weak ones. And again, you could get some personal coaching. Maybe we could talk about the type of guys you choose. I could probably help you figure out what you're actually doing, but you're attracting good-hearted men too. Denise Spring, she said, "What are your thoughts on dating a man in his late 30s in the midst of a divorce?" Um, Yeah, I guess it just depends on the condition of his relationship, how he got to divorce, the status of his divorce, if he's still living with the woman, sleeping in the same bed, who's being hurt in this divorce, who's leaving who, what caused the divorce, what led to it. Was it a character flaw? Did they outgrow each other? Did she cheat? Did he cheat? Like what happened? All of that stuff is relevant to how you should approach dating a guy that's going through a divorce. I know men who've gone through divorces whose wives have left them, who they were just separated, who they told their wife, listen, I'll give you this much time to really think about it, but I'll be here until when you get back. And then they just never came back. So the divorce takes a while, and you might meet a guy separated, but it's over with, you know what I'm saying? And he ain't really got a whole lot going on. Sometimes divorce is a long process. So it just depends on the circumstances. Aya Imani, a beautiful name. She says, I've been trying not to only date guys that give me that initial spark, but how long to keep dating the guy to see if you develop more interest or attraction? Uh, I think when you don't have a spark with the guy, it's important to remove the idea of dating off the table and just get to know that person, become a friend to that person. Because if you're dating, say you don't like them, you don't really have an initial spark, and you go on one date and it's supposed to be a date, and then you go on a second date and it's supposed to be a date. It kind of works like erectile dysfunction or erectile performance anxiety, and a lot of women can't relate to performance anxiety. But as a guy, if for whatever reason you're not able to perform, and I don't mean to get graphic, but this is a perfect analogy. If reason you're in the mood and you're about to have coitus with a person, and you're not able to perform, the moment that you realize that you're not able to perform, or the moment you realize, hey, I'm not up yet, um, like you go into this sweat, like your nerves take over and you're completely shutting down. And now it has nothing to do with whatever dysfunction or nervous. It has everything to do with you shutting down out of terror, because you're about to fail at this big moment, and you're about to be humiliated. And so just seeing that you're not like up for the task in that very moment, in that very instance, instead of just being relaxed and kissing a little more and growing into the moment, you just shut down because you're afraid that it won't happen, and therefore it won't happen because now you've taken yourself out of the game mentally. Sex is mental as much as it is physical. In the same way, when you're dating a guy and he doesn't give you that initial spark, if your focus then becomes on shit, I don't like him yet. Shit, I don't like him yet. Damn it, I don't like him yet. Why don't I don't like him? Oh crap. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna like this guy. He's such a good guy. I should like him. Why don't I like him? And that becomes your focus. You've taken yourself out of it. Because again, forming a relationship with a person and forming an interest in a person is physical at first, but it's more mental, right? The mental upholds it all. So you've taken your mind out of it when all you do is analyze the status of your crush, instead of just getting to know the person and allowing them to be a good friend to you and allowing each other to be a part of each other's lives, and growing from a place of just being there for each other. Instead, you're like, I need to like you, I need to like you, I need to like you, I don't like you enough, fuck it, I'm done. And so it becomes a distractor, just like the idea that I might not be able to perform what could stop me from performing if I'm with a new person. So I don't know, I guess I gave y'all some game on men and women just now. Anyway, somebody says so with that said, just take your time, be friends, off the table, and ask that gentleman if he would just be able or willing to get to know you, so that we can see what the propensity for you to really be close was about. And once you become close to a guy, he'll be as long as he remains a sexual being and you see him as a sexual being, eventually you might want some. So that's kind of where that goes. But it's a longer thing. It's a lot more to it. I just can't explain it all here. Aodell, Shahi. I probably beat that last one up, but you're a channel member, so I love you. She says, "How do I deal with someone who does not communicate well?" You either train them how to communicate with you if they have an openness and a willingness. But if a lot of times people who don't communicate just say, "I don't communicate well," and that's it. People who refuse to learn, to grow, to evolve, and to try are not the best partners. You always want a partner who understands that they have weaknesses, but will attempt to make some changes when it comes to things that's important, like communicating. Like communication is a big one. You have to be able to have a conversation. So if you have a partner that's unwilling to stretch themselves or attempt to grow, then that's problematic. But if he just doesn't communicate well, then there are a whole lot of things that you could even look up on Google about how to communicate better with your partner, exercises that you can do, games that you can play to teach you how to talk to each other about more difficult things, and to open up the communication lines. He could need some counseling. Or you both could need some counseling, so that could be helpful. But I would definitely try to figure out how to remedy the situation with a strategic approach to the actual issue. And again, it's not about I hate you, you can't communicate, you never tell me anything, you never talk back, you never respond. It's, hey, this communication issue can affect our relationship, and I care about our relationship. I want to protect our relationship. With that said, we need to develop these skills, and we need to learn how to relate to each other in this way. How do you feel about doing this, or this to try to fix this, to try to remedy this situation? If they're unwilling, oh, we don't need to do that, we don't need to do this, we straight, we fine, then you probably dealing with somebody who will never really put the work in that's required to hold a relationship up. Relationships aren't always convenient. They take work, and people who shun that portion of it are generally going to be people who aren't the best partners. Take me some tea, sip some tea. It'd be just my luck. Some shit go down the wrong pipe and I have a coughing fit right here. Hope I didn't just jinx myself. Um, Somebody say, any dating app suggestions, Kev? I'm a 40-year-old widowed mom. I'm gonna be honest, because I haven't been on very many dating websites recently. I can't really give you uh, any suggestions outside of my one sponsor, Iris Dating. I actually have a video for them coming out next week. Iris Dating does they basically have artificial intelligence on their website, and it trains itself on what your preferences are, and it also trains it also trains on other people's preferences. So it matches you up with people who are likely to think you're attractive based on your bone structure and a lot of the scientific stuff that the computer can pick up through your pictures. And so it puts people together who would likely be attracted to each other. So that's actually a pretty cool website, but I don't know how people are doing on it once they do get matched up with people. But there's some new information about their website coming out. I don't like Bumble because the women have to make the first move, and I think it puts the guys in a position where they can just pick and choose who to try to screw. But I just don't like that. I still like Instagram and Facebook because of the natural, organic conversations that are happening, and those are better ways to connect with people than, oh, I think you're cute. How are you? What you up to? Where you from? What you do for a living? I don't really like dating websites per se for that reason. I like organic conversations where people get in a conversation, and you're like on Instagram or you're on Facebook, and a post comes up and everybody in the comment section is either arguing or debating or talking, and you see somebody's comment who's also handsome, that you believe is handsome or pretty, and they feel like you or they think like you, and then you respond to their comment, and you connect intellectually based on a conversation that you're both a part of. I think that's the better way to start an interaction, because it's a lot less pressure to date or to grow into anything, and there's a lot less expectation. But it also connects you with doing the right thing, which is sharing the contents of your mind instead of saying, "Oh, you're attractive. How are you doing today? Oh, you're really handsome. How are you?" Like I don't really like that. If you must go on a dating website, go on a paid dating website that has a questionnaire based, so at least you can see what a person wants the world to think of them based on their answers to the question. Whether or not the shit's bullcrap, is kind of inconsequential. You can tell a lot about a person from what they think other people should think about them, or what they would hope to make other people think about them. So those questionnaire-based dating websites that cost $9, $10, $30 a month, I think if you're going to do it, then do those, because at least you're getting a lot of information about a person before you make that first initial move, and you have a lot of conversational opportunities based on the answers that they provided those questionnaires. Um, so I hope that helps. Um, Somebody said, "How do I do?" Oh, already got that one. Somebody said, "Don't even have the great enough jobs to be." Yeah, somebody laughed at Success Bug laughed at my comment earlier. I was saying some people don't even have real good jobs, but they just talking about work got busy. She said they don't even have great enough jobs to be busy. Hey, a lot of people don't. Um, Mo versus contextual continual texting. I'm sorry. You have to start that early. You have to tell a man up front, listen, I'm not a big texter, and I don't really like when guys just try to text me. If you're not the type of guy who likes to have conversations on the phone, then I'm probably not the girl for you. Just tell him that, like, this will be a missed opportunity if all I'm getting is cheap text messages from you, and be willing to walk away. Excuse me. Too often, women want the guy to stick around. They're excited. They think a guy's cute, so they let him create a system of text messaging, or expectation of just text messaging. And what that does is, yeah, that keeps him around, so it avoids her fear from coming to pass. But she gets just enough to start liking him too much, and he's done just enough that he doesn't want to do anything else. He's put no effort in, and she's grown in her feelings, and he's gotten bored because that's all he's doing is texting. And the only thing to do that you can do to entertain a texter is meet him and be physical, right? Bridge that gap. And a lot of times, women will do that instead of just having intellectual exchanges and conversations. They don't really learn how to talk and have conversations with a guy. So if you text a guy for a couple of weeks or a month, and then you finally go on a date with him, you still don't know how to talk to him because you've never had a conversation verbally with him. So you're still on a date having those awkward moments as if you've never spoken to each other at all, like you just met. Because a text message and a voice call are way too different. I think before dates, you should always be on a FaceTime, and you should always be on voice calls to just figure out how to communicate with each other, what the vibe is, what the communication style is, what the tonality is of it all. Um, but you have to do that from the very beginning. Say you meet a guy, he gets your number, he texts you, "Hey, sexy, how you doing?" You say, "Oh man, I'm chilling, I'm doing nothing, I'm good." Says so, he starts talking, having a conversation, and he's just keep pinging you. After one day, you say, "Listen, I know you probably are used to just texting women, and that's cool, but I'm the type of girl that likes to have phone conversations. Texting bores me, and I feel like it's kind of cheap, and you could probably copy and paste a lot of shit." So I prefer calls. And I ain't trying to be funny, but if you like a text message and that's all you like to do, then I'm probably not the girl for you. I don't even want to waste your time, sir. And if a guy don't like that, if a guy ain't feeling it, it's because he didn't want to call you. He didn't want to put no work in. So that's good information. Any information is good information. You didn't lose that. You didn't run him off by trying to put a standard on him too strong. You got valuable information. Oh, I ain't shit, and I don't plan on being shit, and all I was gonna do is text message you until you send me some naked pics. Okay, I don't want to have a conversation with. I guess I'll leave you alone. I guess I won't waste your time, Ma. Be cool. Have a good day. Find some other guy to do that. That's good information. Like the women think when they get and women and guys, sometimes when we get rejected, we think that it's the bad thing, it's the worst thing that ever happened, when really someone's doing us a favor. We're not compatible with them, we're not in alignment with them, they aren't in alignment with what we want. So many times people are chasing people who aren't aligned with their spirits, their goals, their hopes and dreams. All the women I know that say, "Oh, I want love. I want to be loved. I want a healthy, satiated relationship." They chase men who don't have that to give, who don't even want it or don't believe in it. That is not being in alignment with your goals. That is not being in alignment with yourself, with your spirit, what's been put on your heart to go achieve and get. So why are you out of you are completely out of alignment, trying to force a square peg into a round hole, and then you're mad when it doesn't work out? This guy never had that. He never wanted that. You have to want the same things as a couple. And if you don't want the same things, then you're dating out of your alignment. And everything outside of your alignment is going to be more difficult, no matter what that is. If you work a job you can't stand and you ain't supposed to be at, and you hate, it doesn't cater to your skills and natural instinct, you're going to hate the job, and the job's going to hate you. You're going to suck as an employee. But if you know you work well with people and you need a job where you work with people instead of being by yourself somewhere in a mailroom, being miserable in the dark, then and you get around the people and you start to flourish and you start to use your personality and your gift of gab and your charisma, you get promoted through a job like that simply because you're in alignment with who you are and what your gifts are and what you want to talk to people, you want to interact with people, you want to help people, like to smile and make connections with people. You're going to do very well at your job and you get promoted. But if you're a person who hates people, you don't want to be customer service chief, you don't want to be customer service manager, nobody's going to like you, and you're going to probably get fired from the position for sucking. So just be in alignment. In the same way, when you're dating, if you want love, go chase love. Stop chasing all of this other stuff. Like, too many women I know say they want love, but they chasing business partners. They chasing luxury men and business partners. They so worried about the dollar amount a man got in his pocket when they want love. Now they're in alignment for a good business partnership, heightened levels of prosperity. But sometimes you just got to get you a man who has, like I said, I told a couple people this week, get you a man who's a good financial steward, who's got financial literacy down pat, who spends his money responsibly, right? He don't gonna be cheap, but he has to manage his money well, where he's never going to be a liability to you or a drain on your budget, right? From that point, you make an understanding. Hey, you live on your money, I live on my money. You know what I'm saying? And until we married, we gonna make this. I'm gonna operate this budget since I'm making more of it if we ever do get married, or you sign a prenup. There are ways to date a man who has less money than you, and still have a healthy, satiating relationship and get what you are actually aligned for, which is a healthy, loving relationship. Instead of trying to figure out how to make a man with money good enough, figure out how to make a good enough man, more financially aware of himself, and less dependent on your funds before you even get together, or before you get married and do that thing. And I think it's easier to educate somebody on how to be better with money sometimes than it is to give a shitty man with money character. And a lot of times, just because men don't make a lot of money doesn't mean they don't have a lot of money. There's a lot of millionaire janitors out here because they're good financial stewards. So y'all got to start paying attention to the shit that matters. If a man can make $100,000 a year and be a pissy financial steward and be living paycheck to paycheck, or the same man can be living large, make $40,000 a year, but be a good financial steward, have 40,000 in the bank, have $200,000 in investments, and be straight and never need nothing from you. Right. So just be careful that y'all again not operating in a place that's opposite of where you're trying to go, or get in alignment with yourself and make sure that you're focused on the right things when you're choosing guys. Um, I don't know how. I'm probably way off topic from the question I started answering, but I think that's valuable for some people. Um, uh, I found someone who prays and studies with me. That's a good thing. If that's what you like to do, then you and do men like the idea of being a power couple as much as women do? No. That's why so many women that have a lot of money and or power are still single, because they think that is like that's a selling point. It's a selling point for guys that you have your own and you're not dependent on them. But after that, if you're not a drain on their pockets, they really, most men who don't want to, unless a man wants to live off a woman, which most men don't, most men are looking at what you have after that. Power couple for a man is like a woman that you a man for a man, for most men outside of Hollywood, a power couple is like, I'm handsome, I'm looking my best, I got my money together. I pull up in my nice car. I pull up to my nice house, and I got a nice looking woman on my arm. And the power is, look at this. Look at my trophy wife. That's why the word trophy wife or trophy girlfriend is such a prevalent term, because a man wants to show a woman off, and that makes it feel powerful. But if both of them are doctors and he doesn't want to show her off, and they have a piss poor relationship, as powerful as they might be, it doesn't feel like a power couple. You know what I'm saying? Until they get to the barbecue and they're around people who have less than them, right? So, for me, I don't think that the idea of a power couple is as much as important to guys as it is women, because men sometimes see themselves as the source of the power, if they are the ones concerned with power. Um, those who respect and admire and look to status as, you know very important, are looking at their own status first, those guys, and they don't even want their status to be equal or comparable to the women that they choose, because then that would take away from their status as a man. The high value man isn't necessarily looking for the high value woman. He's looking for the woman who can complement his value and shut the hell up. And that's why I always tell you guys about these guys that's running around who think about power, who think about status, and who emphasize those things. Man can have those things and be wonderful, but a man who emphasizes those things is going to be distracted in his own folly and his own vanity. So again, there's so many layers to this conversation, but not really. Not really. Women like the idea of a power couple. Men aren't thinking about that. They just want a woman that they're attracted to, that they want to have sex with, that is going to support them in their journeys, but also is going to be a friend to them. Right? It is going to help them and keep their mind right and keep them productive. And if she has her own, that feels really good too. But from an emotional standpoint, the powerful man isn't looking a lot of times for a woman of equal power. He likes to feel above others, and that's why power is emphasized in his life. Most men of relative normal power are going to have a more healthy idea in relationship with the term power couple, because it just means that you're both out there getting it and it feels good for them. I don't know. There's just so many layers and so many different profile types for men. So I wish we could break men down into 3 or 4 different types, because there are that many different types of personality profiles, that many different types of men that are moving, and we're trying to explain all men with one question or one term. It just doesn't work. Anasa Ford. My bad, I don't beat your name up again. I'm so sorry. She said, I keep experiencing men that are approaching me to get my number while I'm wearing a mask without the ability to see my face. Should these men be taken seriously, or are they F-boys? No, they should be taken seriously. You see a woman's forehead and eyes? Like I've seen women in masks, and I'd be like, damn, I'm sure she's a 10 under that mask. I'm sure, like, some women are gorgeous, like from here up, they like are 10s. Even if it's downhill from there, she's still fine. Because a lot of times, like they say, the eyes are the window to the soul. So a lot of times, if a person has very beautiful eyes, and you can see a woman has nice skin in her forehead. No, I think that I would approach, if I was single and I was out here, I would definitely approach women in their masks. I mean, it makes it like a blind date. And I used to love blind dates. I used to go on blind dates every week. It was interesting and fun for me. But that's just because men don't have the threat of like rape or kidnapping in the same way women do. So you can show up to a stranger, say, hey, how you doing? Are you Samantha? Are you Vanessa or whoever? Even so, yes, men are approaching you because you probably have a very nice physique, and your eyes and forehead are very attractive, and your hair is probably on point. So no, they're not necessarily F-boys. They're just men who are attracted to you. They're F-boys based on the content of the conversation, what they're asking you about, what they're trying to do, how they're trying to discover you, how serious they are about being close to you and figuring out who you are as a person. That's what makes them F-boys. But just the fact that they're attracted to you and they approach you, that just makes them a man. You can have a damn Glad trash bag on. If you look good, you look good. Miss Tiff Dan said, hey, Kev, love your channel. If someone chose to leave but had a pattern of returning in the past, what is the purpose of them sending a waving hand emoji every 3 to 4 days? I think they're trying to get your attention without invading. When people have a pattern of leaving and returning, they all know what they ultimately know that their time is running out, or your fuse is running short for them. So what they're trying to do is break the ice by being silly or by being non-invasive and trying to get some feedback from you that says, hey, you're welcome to come back. I'm ready for you now. Come on, give me what you got. Talk to me. If you don't want them back, just never reply to any of those. Never give that any attention at all. Disregard. Be completely indifferent and ignore them like they don't exist. They're just trying to figure out if it's safe enough to come waste more of your time, basically. Grey Wolf TG said, you mentioned in one of your videos that spirituality helps you get away from the BS. How do you choose the right spirit? How do you choose the right spirituality for you? Uh, I think I choose whatever gives me peace. I've been religious before. Religion, while it can put you in a trance, it doesn't necessarily do for you what spirituality does. We have to remember, we are spirits with bodies, not the other way around. Right? Energy cannot be destroyed or created. It can only be moved and transformed, or whatever the quote says. But energy, your energy was here before your body was here, and your energy will be here after your body leaves. Um, we are spirits with bodies, not the other way around. So, for me, I chose just getting to know me. Obviously, I believe in God. I have a Christian background, but I don't consider myself a Christian. Um, there's a there's a like I'm not even gonna get into the whole white Jesus thing, but I'm just saying the Bible has there are some arguable points in the Bible based on the kings who reinterpreted it to rule over their kingdoms, and so I know too much to just be Christian by it. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I've learned a little bit too much about history to just fall in line with any particular religion. But the main idea, God is real. Somebody created the intelligence of the universe. I'm going to try to do my best to honor that person and that deity, that entity with my life. So that's kind of what brought me there. Is that I looked at the world histories, and every uprising, every war, every conflict between nations, and every major death catastrophe we've had something to do with the religious beliefs. In the world history, like it's always religion. It's man's idea of spirituality that gets us in trouble. It's not God. It's our interpretation. And misunderstanding. So for me, I chose spirituality that was rooted in self, right? So, obviously, just being aware of your energies, trying to figure out and study how to raise my vibrations and the energy I emit, the positivity and the light that I give out. Obviously, still respecting, the theme of God and the Holy Trinity or things of that nature. Some people call it the universe, Mother Nature. I'm not necessarily their Mother Nature, but sometimes I say the universe or God because I think the God is the creator of the universe, and so you're not really wrong when you call him different things because he is all things. Even so, I've chose spirituality because it grounds me, it gives me positivity, it gives me something and someone and something to be grateful to and for. Um, and for whatever reason, I can't control everything around me. I can only control me. Too often, if you get into spirituality that's religious based, you start looking around trying to control everything around you. You want to judge everybody else around you. You want to control what everybody else is doing. You spend all your time trying to figure out how to put your beliefs on somebody through a voting booth or through through judgment or through whatever. But when you ground yourself in either your chakras or your personal prayer or your personal gratitude or just the things that are in direct relationship with you and who you are and what you are to the world, um, it creates a lot of peace because I'm really not in nobody's business. You can do what you want to do. You live your life how you want to live it. I'm just going to be my best self. Right. And that's all I'm worried about is being my best self. So I don't know how, what to call that. I don't know how I would identify that, but I've just chosen, kind of a self spirituality that I try to be the best person I can be. The Bible says God is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. And my intent is always to serve God uh, through my actions and through my effect on people, and through the energy I give people. I always know that, you never know what somebody's going through. And as much as it depends on you, live peaceably with every man is what, the word of God says. So for me, while I'm not holy roly or I'm not, Christian per se, I do understand that it's important how you affect people and how you present yourself to people and how you accept people. Everybody has a need to feel important and feel loved and feel heard. And so I think if you just do things that are loving and you're consistently genuine in your ability and your willingness to try, you're going to be okay. Even so, sometimes it's exhausting because humans are flawed. They get on your damn nerves. People are stupid. Some people are idiots, to be quite honest. They just are. So you have to be grounded in spirituality. You have to be grounded in being positive, being ambitious, being grateful, being at peace. You have to really have control over your own relationship with you, because if you don't, the world will tell you how to feel. If you don't know how you feel, if you don't know what you believe, the world will tell you. The world will give you something to feel. The world will give you something to believe. You get on Facebook any day, somebody's giving you something to be pissed off at. Every day somebody's giving you something to be pissed off at. People don't think you know nothing. They're going to give you an idea to believe. Oh, believe this dumb shit over here I believe in because I've been on YouTube. And on YouTube, it's got to be right because it's on YouTube, right? And, like people will always try to figure out how to fill your head with their bullshit. And, it's important to have yourself grounded in the spirituality that doesn't move, that doesn't change, that is everlasting, that is ever present, because the bull crap that people encounter on the internet and put on the internet and upload changes every day. This year is QAnon or Illuminati. The next year to be some other shit we never heard of, and people will be terrified and living in fear. But the point is to just be at peace and do well for others, right? And that's if you just keep that basic thing, the basic thing that gives you peace. Do whatever gives you peace, and sometimes that means doing what you love. Sometimes that means prayer. Sometimes that means meditating. Sometimes that means, people do rock and crystal work. I know somebody that's in the mirror work right now. Whatever it takes for you to be grounded and at peace with you and love you, be in love with who you are and who you're becoming. That's what you do. I can't tell you what religion to choose. I can't tell you what to believe, but I can tell you what it's supposed to do for you. It's supposed to ground you. It's supposed to give you a sense of tranquility. It's supposed to give you a calm. It's supposed to move you, motivate you, inspire you, and encourage you. And it's supposed to give you the power to do that for other people. So whatever spirituality gives you those powers, that's what you do. Even so, um, I'm probably way off topic. I don't remember if I was on topic, but there y'all go. Somebody says, the high value rhetoric trend, do you think these men are being purposefully and strategically manipulative, or do they really believe all the crap that they are saying to be 100% factual and reasonable? They really believe their bullshit. They absolutely do. It's this one guy on TikTok that's really good. I respect the brother a lot. I don't know if he would like my shit because I actually fall into a niche. I help women, and he likes to go back and forth with women and men. But the guy, I don't watch a lot of these guys, but I respect this guy because he has his message is one of integrity. I can't remember his name or anything on TikTok a lot, but a lot of these guys, not him, but a lot of these guys, they really believe their bullshit. They're wounded. What you're seeing is wounded masculinity. We always talk about masculinity, alpha males, and these guys always talk about, I'm a high value alpha male. I do this, I do that, I can do this. Listen, ain't no high value alpha male. Ain't no high quality alpha male don't have to minimize women and the people around him for him to feel valid and just and worthy. At no point have I ever, and I've been popular, even when I was in high school, I was voted every time it was some time to vote for something. I was on that damn ballot. Vote homecoming king prime. I was always on the ballot. If I didn't win, I was on the ballot, right? And I won once. I think it was homecoming king once, but I was always on the ballot. I was always one of the top four in the conversation. And the reason I was that, because I treated everybody with love. I could sit at any lunch table I wanted to, because I loved everybody. I gave everybody love and respect. And, a person who has high value, a person who, if we're looking at, a person's value, they should have values. A lot of these high value men don't have any damn values. How the hell are you high value when you don't have any fucking values? I mean, how is that the standard? You're not high quality if you don't have high values, right? And just because people like you, right? The market decides value, right? There are a lot of cheap. I said in my video, there's so much cheap shit out here that people like. People that are, is very sought after. That's made and it's cheap, but people like it, so it's high value. It has a price tag on it because it has a name brand sticker on it that people want. It's highly sought after, but it doesn't make it valuable. It doesn't mean that it's high quality. It just means that people will buy it and people will spend great money for it. These high value men believe their own shit because what they're experiencing is true. A man who makes $100,000 or more dollars, who buys expensive shoes, buys expensive cologne, buys expensive cars, buys expensive suits, probably got $3 damn in his pocket or in his bank account, nothing in his investment account, but appears to have money, can go out here, prance around with his loud cologne and his fancy suit and his nice car, and women will look at that, see prosperity and a meal ticket, and a lot of them will go. They will do whatever it takes to get close to that because they perceive it as status. That makes him high value because women will pay with their bodies to lay down for a man who has nothing else to offer them and who won't even share the fortune that they're witnessing. Um, so yes, these high value men have laid down enough women who have a low enough self-assessment of themselves and their own worth and their own value, and who are so far out of alignment with what they want and what they're doing, that these guys are 100% in the belief system that what they're saying is true. They are above the women that they choose. They are more important than the women that they choose. They are more valuable than the women that they choose. They believe that because these women reiterate that with the things they do for these guys and how they treat these guys and how they let these guys basically not be shit and still get everything that they have to offer. Women get butterflies and nothing else matters after that. And these high value men give women butterflies because they have an attitude and the confidence is attractive, along with the shiny things that they might have or bring or wave into a woman's face. So they're not lying, and they truly believe that, they're the man, and for women who are misguided and who have a very limited understanding of what a man is supposed to be to a woman, they are. So yes, they believe it. It's 100% true, but they are being strategically manipulative because the ones with platforms are still trying to train women on how to be easier to deal with for them to smash and dash. So there's still a manipulation there, but they actually don't believe that they're full of shit. They think they've understood it, and that's why they're talking loud. But it doesn't make it true. It's just because it's true for them doesn't mean it has to be true for you. But they're the ones that women want to have sex with and decide are valuable. So yeah, there's truth to if we get disconnected, and we will put the link in the comment section for those of you who've forgotten. If we lose our signal, stay in the comment section. We will drop the link in the comment section. Do not leave and come back or do anything like that because you'll miss the opportunity to click into the next comment. Anyway, so yeah, fuck those high value guys. If a guy places that much emphasis on the amount of money he makes and how many, she says, in real life, I used to think these men didn't realize what they were doing, manipulative, toxic, and it was unintentional. But now I see that how prevalent all of this seduction pickup artist stuff online is. Absolutely. The pickup artist stuff is true, though. Like, pickup artist stuff works. If it didn't work, then it wouldn't be online. If it didn't work, people would just ignore it. Right. So it's true because it gets guys laid. Because unfortunately enough, women fall for some dumb shit. Women fall for some dumb shit sometimes, and we just got to be honest about that. I'm not saying women are dumb overall, but I'm saying overall, women as a sex have allowed some dumb shit to happen to them, and it happens right in their face. And then you have other women that's jumping online defending this shit and sharing it and trying to teach other women how to be more like the women that are getting played. You got to understand that the pickup artist mentality and the high value man teaching, the pickup artist teaching and the high value man teaching both come from military and pimp psychology. Right. So military psychology is, how to train a good soldier. Pimp psychology is modified military psychology, but it's taught to hoes to be more to be more easygoing and better subordinates. To sell their own bodies, to be programmed against themselves. These high value men who have these channels are training you on how to basically be the hoes. That's basically this. If you look at the top 10 rules of pimping, 1 through 10, like 8 or 9 of them, and I'll do a video about this soon, but like 8 or 9 of them are just the top 10 rules of pimping, but they've just learned how to tell it to you directly instead of tell it to a pimp. This is how you train the hoe. They're just training you directly as the hoe. And because people keep sharing this shit and it goes viral, it's controversial, it gets popping. People know what they're doing. But shit, that was up. Somebody said, what if you feel your value isn't appreciated as if men, people don't see you as you see yourself, or your closet friends or your closest friends value you. So what if your value isn't appreciated, then fuck it. Then leave them. Don't deal with people who don't. I don't go where I'm tolerated. I go where I'm celebrated. If somebody's indifferent to me, then I don't fuck with them. I don't deal with them. I don't go around them. Like I leave them alone. And it's not like I don't have to be against them, but I only deal with people who are for me. If people are indifferent, people don't care about me, then I don't really care about them. I don't like they're not for me. So there's no hate, there's no malice, there's no nothing. But the hell with them. You understand me? Yeah, not to hell, but the hell. You know, it's different. Just indifference, basically. Don't allow people to be in your life who don't see your value. And if you picked up on the fact that they don't see how valuable you are or how valuable you believe you are, then that's problematic. With that said, there's this idea that keeps coming into my comment section every once in a while. It's like every woman is valuable. Every woman should be respected. While that sounds good, it's bullshit. People who respect themselves should be respected, man or woman. If you don't respect yourself, shit, you will be disrespected by somebody. I might not be the one to do it. I'm gonna treat everybody the same. If I'm indifferent to you, I'm indifferent to you. But indifference isn't respect. So there's that too. Don't assume that you have some inherent value if you haven't done the thing to show somebody a reason that they should respect you or take you seriously. That's something that happens too. What a lot of this dating advice is that you can go too far in one direction or the other. You got these guys training women on hoe and pimp psychology, and then you got the pickup artists, but then you got these other guys that tell women everything they want to hear. A woman has never done anything wrong, and then the comment section is full of a bunch of women who are completely just detached from reality as opposed to as it pertains to how their decisions look in contrast to other women or what their decisions have done for them. And so my content is just basically trying to keep it honest and real while helping women get to where they want to be. For some people, that means you need to evolve. For some people, that means you need to grow or stretch. But some people just need to make better decisions and be great, but be better for themselves through the decisions and the guys they choose. So there are a lot of different things that we're trying to accomplish in making sure that I get my advice out here to help people. But what I'm not trying to do and what I'm not here to do is kiss anybody's ass and just let it be assumed that nobody has ever made a mistake that also had a vagina. That's just not the case. These guys are out here taking advantage of some of the silly, misinformed women out here, and I think that the best thing you can do is educate yourself. Somebody says, and so yeah, if your value is not appreciated, C1 Yara, get the hell up out of there. Leave them alone. Never talk to nobody who's not showing you the love and respect. Shaniqua Garvin says, "Is it true some men like stretch marks and cellulite?" Yes, at least it's true for me. I think a little goes a long way, though. So stretch marks, I don't really give a damn about stretch marks. That's just character. But like cellulite, like I don't care about no cellulite. People care more about size. Like if you're too big, that's problematic. But women who think about this cellulite, you got to understand the surface of a woman's skin is unique to her character. Just like my crooked bottom, shitty teeth are unique to me, and my bone structure and all those things are unique to me. My wife thinks I'm handsome how I am. I don't think she's ever agreed with me when I say, well, I probably should get braces. She's like, I don't think you should. You good. Like she's straight on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she would look at herself and say, oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. But when she looks at me, it's me. And that's kind of how I am with her. I just, I think she's great. But at the same time, women have looked at themselves and saw like, stretch marks, cellulite or things like that. And they like, I don't know, this imperfect. It could be smooth like the girl on Instagram, or it could be smooth. It should look like this, or it used to look like this when I was younger. When guys see it, it's almost like a fingerprint. It's you. Like it's your individual marker. When I'm in my mind having dirty thoughts, I'm seeing those individual markers, right? I'm not seeing some other surface, some other skin surface, or somebody else's thighs. I'm seeing the ones I know, right? The ones I felt. And so those become a thing that attract a guy because he's attracted to you, and everything that is you is attractive to him. That doesn't mean he might not want you to lose weight. It doesn't mean he doesn't want you to take care of yourself, but it does many ways. He looks forward to every unique thing about you, even if it's the surface of your skin, having stretch marks or cellulite. I know that a little bit goes a long way for me, but I really like stretch marks just mean you got thick or you are thick. And I'm a large enough person. I like a large enough woman, So for me, that you ain't scared nothing with that with me. But at the same time, it's not everybody. So it's not all men, but there are many men, a lot of men who like the very unique surface of each individual woman's skin, whether that it means stretch marks, cellulite, birthmarks, scars, whatever it might be that makes you you. That's what he dreams of if he wants you. C1 Yara says two thirds often meet someone. It goes well for a month or two, and somehow they don't like me as they get to know me, as if we're incompatible. Well, that happens. You just got to find somebody for you, and you have to. I think sometimes an exit interview or just asking for a little bit of feedback can go a long way. You don't want to do that all the time because you don't want your opinion of you to be dictated by what other people think. But you also need to have a very honest and genuine and realistic assessment of how you're affecting people and how you come off to people. It could be something you're doing. It could be a behavior you're exhibiting, or it could be you're just meeting people who aren't a good match yet. So just figure that out. Hmm. F. Davis, why do men always compliment me but don't ask for a number or stare for a while and never approach? Because you're probably just fine enough that they're intimidated. They feel like they've done something. They work up a lot of courage to tell you how beautiful you are, but they don't feel like you're in your response. They're welcome to ask for more. Do yourself this favor when men compliment you. Understand that they've gone through a great deal of self doubt to get to that place where they complimented you. And as much as women try to shit on men who are too afraid to say something to a woman, and I want a real man who's going to approach me. Listen, men aren't trying to bust through a bunch of walls and snotty looks. Um, if a man actually has the balls to come up to you and give you a compliment, uh, you're not entitled to it. So don't appear as though he hasn't said a word. Like if you want that guy to want more, if you want that guy, specifically that guy, to want your number, then you need to stretch that interaction. He needs to feel welcome when he comes up to you and says it. Most of the time, you say, "Hey, your hair looks really nice." They say, "Oh, thank you." Even if she really wanted more, she's like so nervous, she freezes up. She doesn't really know how to take the compliment, so she tries to escape the moment instead of saying, "Well, I appreciate it. I got it done and so and so." And man, she wanted to do it another way, and like start a conversation about that thing. When a guy compliments you, instead of just saying thank you and then looking down, looking away, or escaping, and then wondering why he didn't ask for your number or reapproach you, have a conversation about it, or have a mini exchange. Talk about, yeah, I just got it done today. I didn't think I was gonna get it done. I was in a rush. Da 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 da. Like, just say a few sentences. Give him a little bit. Give him a paragraph, and then ask him an open-ended question so that he has an opportunity to stretch the interaction, so it turns into a conversation. After a good conversational exchange, a guy will ask for your number because you made him feel welcome. But if all you did was say thank you and then look away, he won't ask for your number because he doesn't know if that compliment was even welcome, and he doesn't want a guy to be a guy bothering you, having already felt like he kissed your ass by giving you a compliment, then begging for your number when he wasn't even welcome to give you the compliment. So try to turn it into a short conversation. Just like if a woman asks you, if a woman said, "Girl, your hair looking good," you like, "Oh my God, my hairdresser," and you would get all into what the hell happened at the hairdresser. Kind of do the same thing, except just keep it a little bit shorter because we don't really give a damn about all of that. But we just want interaction with you so we can get your number. Um, so that's that. Somebody said you mentioned in one of your videos that there's a limit to age gaps. Uh, is that just regarding women dating younger men, or women dating older men also? More predominantly, women dating younger men. But like I said, I've seen women and date younger men 20 years younger than them and be married with them and like live for a long time. But it takes a very special and very unique personality. And most men don't have that. Men who have a lot of ambition and men who have this need for growth, um, sometimes that same ambition doesn't do well with a much older woman, because just like there's always a bigger and better job, a bigger and better car, the tighter, finer woman. So if I think the thing that I've noticed, and I've never heard anybody else say this, but the thing that I've noticed in years of observing these things are the young men who are extremely ambitious are never really satisfied, and that includes the woman well, or they're less satisfied with the woman who can't compete with the rest of the very beautiful things that they can bring into their lives in nice houses, nice cars, nice this, nice that, nice job, big title, all of those things. They don't really do well with older women. They like them because older women are attractive, and you want to ravish an older woman because people fetishize older women because they look good when they, I don't know if distinguished is the right word for a woman, but just like women get distinguished or men get distinguished and women start to think that they look more attractive with a little bit of gray on their sideburns or whatever, women get little kind of distinguished when a woman who's been skinny all her life gets her, like, you know, her 40-year-old body, and there's a little bit of thickness and the skin's a little bit softer and it jiggles a little bit more if you smack her on the butt, and all of those things. Like, there's a distinguishment that happens with women too that men often fetishize. Talking about stretch marks and cellulite again, men like the surface of a woman's skin if it belongs to her and they like her, and all of those little details about a person are they pop a lot more and they are accentuated as we age. So men really like and are attracted to a lot of older women for different reasons, but they don't necessarily want to be with her when she's 60 and he's, you know what I'm saying? So there is a limit to at least the attraction and the physical aspect of it. Especially for the more ambitious men. So you got to get yourself with the man that's type of man that'll work the same job forever, the type of man that's super content, the type of man that really doesn't have a big, large social prowess, and doesn't really look good and create a scene and make himself, give himself status. Men who need status do not do well with women who are very much older. That's just not a thing that happens. A man has to be indifferent to status and indifferent to the ostentatious lifestyle before he can get himself in a position where he'd stay humble enough with a young older woman for a long time. I hope that helps. There's probably so much more that should be said, could be said, but that's the gist of it. Somebody said, after a while, dating begins to feel like hanging out with people who don't think you are cool. Potentially, it could. I know that's how I felt when I was dating. For a while, it just felt like, I mean, I had a dry spell that was like, God, what am I doing? I did everything wrong when I was dating. I learned how to date well, but there was a time when I was a teenager, I did everything wrong. Oh my God, maybe I'll do a video on all the stupid things I did when I was dating. I did so much stupid stuff. I remember one time I was a nice guy. I baked a girl brownies. That shit didn't work out. She ate the brownies. I still didn't get a call back. So, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I got away from that nice guy shit soon enough. I realized I wasn't gonna be no damn baker trying to figure out how to get some girl to return my fucking phone call. Anyway, F. Davis says, why do men always come? Okay, I already answered that. When is the next video for single successful women coming out? Okay, so this week I was actually going to do the single successful women video, but I wanted to actually do it. I was going to make it public. I'm still going to send it to all the single successful women because it's relevant to you and it needs to be discussed. But I think the next single successful women video, as much as I know it's going to flop because all of those videos flop on YouTube, I think I probably should just do it and put it out free. I'll add it to the series, but I'll put it out there for everybody. And maybe I'll put the link to join the free series, and that way, when women get that video, if they think that video is helpful, maybe they'll join and get the other couple of videos in the series, and then wait for the next videos with everybody. That way, I'll promote the single successful women group to people who haven't experienced it and maybe missed those 2 or 3 videos that I even mentioned it in, because I haven't mentioned it but in a couple of videos, so a lot of people don't know about it. There's about 5,000 women right now in that group waiting for that video, so I'm definitely going to do that. Somebody said, how much time do you think is okay to be single or to be single without dating if you are in your 30s and want to get married? Listen, as much time as you want, but time waits for no man. So understand that time waits for no man. You ain't got forever to get that shit together. I talk to women every day that's 43, 44, 45, 46, 54, and wish they just didn't give so much time away to the wrong man or waste too much time quitting. Say, I stopped dating for 12 years. You spent your whole 30s single, celibate, because you was afraid to get disappointed? Isn't it disappointing getting to 44 or 43 or 50, having known that you gave the most finite resource in the universe away to fear? Time? Like, time is the most precious thing that you have. And to give it away and to give those opportunities away because you're afraid, um, it's a disservice. So I guess you can spend as much time single as you want to. I don't want you to be afraid or to be anxious about time, but understand that it waits for no man. So don't waste too much time sitting on your ass feeling sorry for yourself if you've had a bad experience. Get out there and live. Um, Shecky's channel, part one, took your advice from a year ago and learned the differences between exuding sensuality as opposed to sexuality. Even upgraded my wardrobe and still in therapy working on my internal. Now, Shecky, you already had style. I seen your Instagram last year. So much style, so much class, but the style was amazing. And so I think you just wanted to upgrade your wardrobe because you look like you like to shop. But you got a lot of style. So love and respect. I need to check out some new Instagram pictures from you. I'll check your page out today and see what you posted and see if you show the world your new style because you had a lot of style to begin with. Um, she said, I expect my future partner to conduct themselves in this the same and put the in the healing department. I would love for my guy to be in therapy too. Is that too much for me to require? No. I think you just have to get in alignment with the guy or get a guy in alignment with the type of life you want. If you want an enlightened life, one of self-improvement and self-awareness, an acknowledgement of your flaws. If that's the type of spiritual and energetic connection you want with your partner, that's an amazing relationship you can have. You just got to get you a guy that's willing to do that. Um, Obviously, you want to. Let me plug my damn. Oh, for those of you wondering, I think I'm in my son's first grade classroom. My wife homeschools my son completely. He's not in the school system, so I'm in the first grade classroom. This was my little computer area. Now it's the first grade office. Um, but yeah, I think you can have that, and I don't think it's too much for you to require. You just have to find people who align with that. Meaning, develop friendships with guys, really start to talk to guys that want to just be a part of your life and realize that this is a part of who you are. And as people fall in love with you, they start to fall in love with that part of you too, and want that energy from you. And you have really good energy, so I can see how that would be something you want to protect. But at the same time, instead of thinking about it as like dating and finding a partner or a husband, just go make good, solid relationships with men that are not based in expectation of sex or anything like that. And hopefully one day you find somebody or you get around somebody that wants more than you've given them. And at that point you can, step things up, and they already know what it requires at that point because you've been in each other's lives. You are friends. You know what each other has gone through. You know what it takes for each other to get motivated and encouraged. So I think you can have that, and I don't think it's too much to offer or ask. I'm sorry. Um, Success Bug said, my question, I often hear that I'm marriage material, yet they don't even want to commit as a boyfriend. What's the disconnect? Most times they just want to be friends with benefits and don't want to be with anyone else and don't want me to be with anyone else. First of all, if a man's not offering you a commitment or his heart, he has no authority over what the hell you do and who you do what with. Second of all, if you continue to give people benefits, then you'll probably always be the friend with benefits. People only give you what you require, nothing more. And so the disconnect might be the benefits. potentially, or the friend. You got to be very careful about who you call friend. And while we understand that friends with benefits is a term used, friend should be the key word. You still should be if you're going to give benefits to a friend, it should be somebody who cares about the result of your life, cares about your daily experience, cares about which happens when you're happy, sad, when you're going through shit. It should be a real friend. Too often we call strangers and people we don't know friends with benefits because we're friendly enough to have sex with them. If you're an asshole, people don't want to screw you, so you have to be friendly with people. But friendly with benefits is not a friend with benefits. If you're going to have benefits, at least make it a friend, because a friend is going to genuinely love you and then have something to protect in that relationship. A friend with benefits is just generally a guy you met at the club that didn't want a relationship. You tried to convince him otherwise. He told you he didn't want a relationship, but he likes you. Can't you just keep doing what you're doing right now? Give him some ass every now and then, cook him a plate, give him some top. And that's kind of what the friends with benefits becomes. You just being a girl who lays down with a guy because you want more than he's willing to give you. So he calls it friends with benefits. Be very careful. Make sure it's an actual friend with benefits. Don't just say friends with benefits because you're screwing. You're just screwing if you're not real friends. You just fuck buddies. That's different than friends with benefits. You can be a real friend and be having, relationships and relations, and that's different than somebody that just is hitting it, that doesn't care about who you are, what you got going on. So that might be the disconnect, is that these guys aren't really your friends. You're not building real friendships with men, potentially. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying that could be the disconnect. You asked what the disconnect was. That could be it. On top of the benefits, you still don't owe anybody benefits, and you don't give anybody authority over what your decisions are if they're not giving you their heart or they're giving you their intent to love. So I hope that helps. God bless the truth, Monica Hayes says. How do we meet eligible men during the pandemic? The comment section. Running tracks, bike trails, still restaurants, grocery stores. You got to pick a man from his eyes and his forehead now, but you can still talk to people at the grocery store. Social media gets you the rest of their face if you need to see it. I don't know. Where to meet men is still open and all over. Good men are everywhere and nowhere. It has more to do with judgment and selection and whether or not good men exist. Women are good people. Humans are both good and bad, and that includes both men and women. Sometimes women act like good men aren't a thing because only women have the propensity to be good people, good individuals, and that's just foolishness. There are great men out here just like there are great women, and you just got to find out how to get close to one or how to select them when they come your way. Give them a half decent chance to try to figure out, who you are. Shaniqua Garvin says, "Clap, clap, clap. You drink your tea in front of us. I'm only drinking tea in front of you guys because I got this tea mug that's so damn big. It's a Christmas tea mug, but I got the mug is so big that you can't see my face anyway, or my lips. Like you can't see my lips do that. So I can drink it in front of y'all. Y'all can't see that. I look stupid. I look as stupid because you can't see me sipping anyway. So that's what the change is. That's the change up right there. Just keep putting it out. Quality over quantity is going to launch you so far, so fast. It's coming. Yeah, I think what's for me is mine. And will be mine. I'm doing good. We had an amazing year last year. COVID didn't stop us from growing in this house. We are very grateful for the year we had last year. We feel very blessed. We're looking forward to an even more amazing year this year. So I make no complaints about, like I said, what God has done for my family and what we're experiencing. I'm very grateful. But yeah, the more is to come. And like I said, it just fucking frustrates me that all of these people who offer the world such garbage get accelerated so much faster. And it's just fucking frustrating. It's like, I've been on YouTube for 4 or 5 years, just doing my best to give people the best of what I had to offer and try to help them change their life. And I've been told that my content doesn't share well, but some certain videos of men giving very piss poor advice or being destructive is controversial, and so it gets millions and millions of views, and they immediately go immediately overnight to the top of the pile, and it's just like, and then like even like rappers, I'd be looking at rappers, like rappers that tell a young man sell dope to your community, kill your brother, disrespect the women in your community, take these drugs, and these motherfuckers go platinum. They be having millions of dollars, they throw money in the air, all this stuff. It's like somebody doing the right thing will have to grind for 10, 12, 11 years to just get a little bit of that success, while somebody just doing the cheap thing immediately gets shared. And it's not even like it's a God thing. It's just like people share bullshit. People share the garbage no matter what. People would just select it and share it because I don't know if it's entertaining or what, but that's what bothers me about humans, is that they don't share what's best for them. They share what's actually adverse to their goals and aspirations and their health. Somebody said, all your videos are so valuable. You're really about to explode. And so will your accounts, YouTube, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and bank. My bank account's doing well. I'm not going to complain about my bank account. Um, yeah, I'm doing okay. And, Twitter, I'm not really a Twitterer. Um, I've had a Twitter for as long as I've had a YouTube, and I think I still only got like 300 followers on Twitter. I don't tweet. I don't understand it. I'm not a comment section person because I don't think that everything that comes out of my mouth is gold. And Facebook Memories shows me that. Every time I see Facebook Memories, I'm like, damn, I said that shit in 2011. Like, I don't want no parts of this comment stuff because I don't want to be looking at Twitter Memories in 2027 and be like, damn, what did I say? In 2020, I said what? Like, so I'm not a big Twitterer. I don't like it, but I do go on Twitter and look at trending. That's always interesting. But I make no comments. I don't do anything because everything on Twitter is trend. Like, I don't like how if I comment on somebody's Twitter thing, it shows up on my page. Like, I don't understand that. I don't like. What is that? I don't know. I think my refrigerator buzzing or something. I don't know what's up with that. I'm hearing like a buzzing. Something. Sorry, I'm sorry. Something is buzzing in my living room, and we got a lot of toys in here, so it could be anything. But something is buzzing. Anyway, I'm not a big Twitter person. My YouTube is doing well enough. I think I'll be at 300,000 here in the next couple of months. Um, Let me see. Facebook. I'm not a big Facebooker. I have like 1,900 or 2,000 followers on my Facebook page, but Facebook wants you to pay for every dollar. I mean, Facebook wants you to pay for every view and every like that you get on Facebook, and it's really crumbs. It's like it's pitiful how much money they want you to pay to show your shit to the people who already follow you. Like I can't show my stuff to the 2,000 people who follow me. I don't be getting no engagement. I don't get no love. It was like you got 20 likes on Facebook. Like, and they're like, hey, if you want to get 50 more people to see it, you can do so for $20 more. It's like, man, y'all kiss my ass, Facebook. That's how I feel about Facebook, really, and kind of Instagram, because Instagram's the same way. It's so hard to grow on Instagram and Facebook because they want you to pay for every damn person that sees your content. Patricia Richards, just saying, love and respect. Absolutely. I still appreciate you, and that's a good thing. I'm gonna be it unto me, even as you have said, just like Esther. I take it. Um, Carl says he goes to me after months of progress. Why? He lost interest. Sometimes somebody once said, and I don't remember who said this, but I used to have a mentor in this leadership group I was in my job, and somebody said, never confuse movement for progress. So sometimes just because you're with the guy and y'all are doing stuff and you're moving doesn't mean you're progressing. It just means you're around each other. What the fuck is that? Yo, something. It's something like vibrating or something. There's so many electronics in this room. It feels like it sounds like my clippers are on in the room, but I ain't got no clippers in here. Anyway, it's just distracting. Somebody said, please touch on why they ghost. People ghost because they're conflict avoidant and they don't want that difficult conversation. They ghost because they've lost interest and they don't know how to explain that to you, and they don't know how to answer the questions they believe that are going to come from losing interest and trying to express that to you. People ghost because they found other people and they don't want to tell you that you're not good enough or you're second best to someone else that they would rather have sex with or rather be in a relationship with or rather grow and love more. People ghost because they don't want to feel like the bad guy, and so they would rather ignore the fact that they're hurting someone. Um, People ghost because they want to believe that they're good people, and facing their transgressions and the things that they might have done to other people makes it more difficult to believe that they're as good as they've always assumed they were. So that's why people ghost. Um, Hold on. Yeah, pretty girl, can you figure out what the hell that is? That's annoying. I don't know where it is either. It sounds like it's in this room. Sounds like some clippers are on the floor just vibrating across the ground. Y'all forgive me. We got a weird sound happening in our house right now. I think one of the toys I don't know what the hell going on, but it's getting on my damn nerve. Um, Somebody says, what are the signs of time progressed that you decided your wife was going to be the only woman that you'd ever want? Asia, what are the signs as time progressed that you decided your wife was going to be the only woman that you'd ever want? I don't know. You know, I feel like just overall, like the consistency and the support, uh, like it was some damn clippers. Yo, I tried to turn those. I'm sorry, yo. I tried to turn my clippers on earlier, and they didn't come on. I was like, damn, they must be dead, and I just put them down, and then they just came on randomly. Right? Oh, okay, well, that will happen. Okay, so we got to the bottom of that. There was some clippers that actually came on by themselves. I tried to turn them on. They didn't come on earlier. I just left them alone, and then the power must have been on, and it just triggered, and they came on, and they fell in the tub. So that's what was going on. Now I can focus. So yeah, you know, I think that because I had been disappointed, I've been hurt twice before I met my wife. Um, Part of the big reason for me is not necessarily her doing anything uh, outside of just loving me through time. Like I was always nervous that one day I would come home and she would kiss me with pursed lips, not want to be, you know, just to start tolerating me because I had experienced that before. Um, but hell, I think after 4 years, when I got home, she was still as excited to see me as she was in year one. I was like, okay, she has a lot of patience. She doesn't get bored, or she knows what she wants in me. And you know, I was always very interested in her, and she was always very special to me. And we've always had very great spiritual connections and intellectual connections. And you know, it really wasn't a doubt in my mind that she could be the only woman. It was just the doubt I had was if I could be the last man that she would be willing to keep, and if for whatever reason she would get bored or grow disenchanted, because I had trust issues around you know, around a woman's need for excitement, because I'm not the most exciting guy in the world. Women always talk about, oh, kid, you're so great, you're so great. Listen, I'm boring, I'm predictable. I don't believe it's a man's job to kiss a woman's ass and entertain her with a bunch of shit all the time. I suppose if a man's doing his job, he's providing, he's protected, he's making good love, he's minding his damn business, he's not screwing other women, and he's giving you great conversation, support, giving you in the ear, rubbing your feet every damn now and then. I don't think he should have to go make plans and try to figure out how to have fun all the time. If you got time or you want to have fun, make the plans yourself. I'll be there, but I'm not about to kiss your ass about trying to figure out how to have fun all the time. You tell me where I need to be, and I'll be there with a smile on my face, and that's kind of where we at. And you know, so I have my own flaws. I'm not a perfect man. I'm not no ass kisser, and I ain't no purse holder. So you know, sometimes that don't help. That doesn't go well. And like I said, I have my own imperfections. So it wasn't about me, you know, making her prove herself to me as much. It was just about me witnessing whether or not I was compatible with her, and whether or not what she was kept by and motivated by was in alignment with what I could give her. I hope that helps. Can you share more communicate? Can you share them? Can you share them communicating games? I'm horrible at communicating right with him. You could, I mean, literally, Google communication games you can play, communication exercises you can play. You can both write down 5 questions that you always wanted to ask each other, but were too afraid, and be okay with the awkward moment that comes. Sometimes I always tell people, like, I have clients that have issues expressing sexual desire and things of that nature. And so, some of the practices just to be more sexual, say one sexual thing that maybe you wouldn't say, but you'd be thinking and hoping, all day. Express a desire and and understand that the awkward moment is going to come, because there's going to be a natural response and a reaction to what you're saying, and be prepared for that. But give yourself that one awkward sexual encounter every day, just so you get away from this idea, this oh my god, this is so awkward, I'm so afraid of this particular moment, or this response. um, Sometimes I just say nasty shit just to say it, just so I don't ever gain a fear of expressing myself sexually. You know what I'm saying? And it might catch my wife off guard, but it's it's an exercise to make sure that you don't get into a place where you're such a stiff that you can't express yourself, and you become caged by your own thoughts and ideas. Even so, with that said, whether sexual or otherwise, um, look to express yourself in ways that maybe you haven't before. And so sometimes it'd be good to brainstorm all of the things you want to say, all the things you wish you could say, but all the things you are a little bit afraid to say, or trepidatious to say. And maybe your partner can do the same thing. And every day you can ask one question from the list and cross it off as you go by, so that you're getting through the list and you're not changing your questions in time. That's a really good way. But Google is an amazing place, and YouTube is an amazing place. I'm sure there are some psychologists and couples counselors that can give you some exercise games that they've already been using. But it just depends heavily on what your communication issue is and where it comes from, what realm of your relationship the communication issue is. Um, how do you learn how to communicate better in relationships if you are not in a relationship currently? Communication with friends and family go well. I think you just got to give yourself an opportunity to get into that relationship, because your communication in a relationship, half of it depends on the communication style that they come to the relationship with. You both create a communication style based on your backgrounds, and so it would be difficult for me to tell you how to learn how to communicate with somebody based on you not being with them and not knowing who they are, because everybody has their own handicaps. Um, Dating can really get into the way of finding the perfect person for you. Who knows how many times you've missed your turn looking at Mr. Wrong? Absolutely. Women do that all the time, most of the time, 99% of the time, actually. Um, this guy and I seem to get along really well. We like each other. He says my only flaw is that I have close male friends, and that's something he's not dealing with at all. I understand adjustments, but I'm wondering if his stance is just controlling. Giving up my few male friends leaves me with not much support. Is he being controlling? What are appropriate rules and adjustments to make? Men just don't like a bunch of, listen, a man wants one pair of balls to be in your life, and that's it. And that's, I don't know. I guess it's controlling. It could be, but that's just how guys are. I don't think that's it's uncommon. It's the most common thing is that guys generally like to run the other men off when they enter a woman's life, if they're serious about her. I know it leaves you without any support, but one would wonder or hope that you could have some female acquaintances or some families, or build your network of women instead of just guys. But no guy wants the woman that hangs out with the football team or the basketball team, because you compete with all them sacks of balls. Even if you're not, you can't get it out of your mind that it could be something else, and that these guys are always going to be on her side, and her side in a different way. I know your girlfriends are going to be on your side, but your girlfriends are going to screw you when he pisses you off. But those male friends potentially could, even if you're trustworthy. It doesn't take away from a new man's mind who doesn't trust you the fact that you could be untrustworthy, right? That's always a thought, and we don't want to deal with that type of pressure and that type of anxiety with you having male friends that we can't trust. Even if we can trust you, we know that he might rub one off to the thought or the idea of it, and so we don't always trust these guys. It's not about trusting you or controlling you. So sometimes it makes us feel guilty. I've been in this position before. It makes us feel very guilty that we don't want like other guys around, and that we don't want other guys around. But real men are very territorial about They're women, and as much as you might want to say, well, I'll leave the cage open if people want to fly or whatever, you still don't. If you really want somebody, if you value somebody, you're hoping that they don't have those type of random accessory relationships with people of the same sex, and that's just human nature. So I don't know if it's controlling. I know it feels controlling, but I mean, it's natural. It might be controlling, but I guess that's one of those things that you can't really get around. And what are the appropriate rules and adjustments to make? You don't have to shun your friends or like completely. Better pour me some more tea. You don't have to shun your friends or completely like tell them you're not friends anymore. But if you're in this relationship, if you're going to give it room to grow, you have to let them know that you're going to try to respect your relationship at the moment and that you still love them, y'all still good. But, right now you're just trying to figure out, if this is the guy for you. And it's very difficult if he feels threatened by these other guys. And you are trying to, have a relationship and you're ultimately trying to get married and have a family. And it's going to be very difficult if that's not the purpose they serve for you to let them get in the way of that purpose. And, just hope they understand. Most guys already know as soon as a girl they like, or as soon as a girl they are friends with gets a boyfriend, that they're going to see and hear from her a lot less. And so while they might put up a fight, people know that shit got to change when you get in a relationship. Let me drink some tea. All right, 10 more minutes. I'm going to try to rapid fire these last questions. What are the top 3 ways to ensure respect and maintain interest? Always be willing to walk away. Don't badger people over the head with it. It has to be known, but you can't go out of your way to make it known. You don't want to make threats or idle threats about, I'm willing to walk away, I'll leave you. It's not about that. But it show through actions that if people aren't adhering to the guidelines and standards that you placed in your relationship, not the insecurities that you place on them to restrict them, right? But the standards that you have for you. As long as the standards are being met and you're not moving from a place of insecurities, as long as people know you're willing to walk away to protect you, they generally move in a way that you would ask them to move to maintain interest. A lot of people would say, try to, appear to be busy, play phone games, don't be reachable all the time. There's some truth to that stuff, but I don't think that you should have to apply strategy as it pertains to your natural need for distance or not. So I won't really comment on that. I'll just say that just be your best and be willing to do the dirty work in getting to know a person. Those who will maintain interest are going to maintain it regardless. You can employ tactics, but after a while, you'll put the tactics down. And if you do that after 6 months, and after 6 months, they'll lose interest. So you don't want to get into a position where you're looking at where you're looking to employ tactics to try to get somebody to stay engaged with you, because eventually you'll put the tactic down. You'll forget the tactic. And if that was the reason that they stay, then they'll be leaving as soon as that's over with. So just be willing to leave, respect yourself, and always be growing and evolving and staying on your journey. And most of the time, you just being committed to your growth and experience is going to be enough for people to be interested, the people who are supposed to remain in your life. Some people are here for a season, some people are here for a lifetime. And so some of these guys that y'all dealing with are seasonal guys. So just understand that everybody's not supposed to stay as much as you like them. Everybody's not meant to stay. We got 8 minutes left. We're going to get off on time today. We're going to get off on time today because I got a lot going on tonight. I've been wondering if this stance is just controlling, giving them I already did that. We were working toward a good place, and then he first went silent when the focus was on him. Yeah, if a guy goes silent, it's probably because he just found another woman or he lost interest. Don't beat yourself over the head trying to figure that out. Move on. The eyes are on the window. The eyes are the window to the soul, and it's the most important part. Don't let him queen talk you to death. I love when men approach me. Absolutely. The eyes are the window to the soul. With my mask on, eyes talk more than mouths. Absolutely. The eyes talk a lot. The eyes say so much more, and then so much more expressive when that's all you have to look at as the context clues of a person's forehead, eyebrows, eyes, and facial expression. Nikisha, happy birthday. She said, I'm turning 36 tomorrow, but I look 25 and tend to attract younger men. How do I filter through serious green lights while dodging red flags when it comes to age. Um, you just need to figure out what a guy is offering you. If a guy's not looking for a relationship, if a guy is telling you, "Oh, we got to take it slow," but he's trying to get in your pants, if a guy won't date you on a, won't continue to date you without screwing you, it's always a red flag. When you're dealing with young men, they're trying to get their things wet. You gotta make sure that you control the access that you give to men to you sexually, because their patience around sex, while they exchange with you intellectually, is generally going to be the biggest sign that they want something serious, or they not, or not, in their idea of a relationship. Um, but I got a whole bunch of videos on red flags. Just look up red flags. Most of that stuff applies to men 25 and up. Didn't Casper the Ghost turn into a real boy at some point? He did, but that was a cartoon or an animated film. Unfortunately, some of these men get gray hairs on their balls and their heads and still act like little boys. It just don't matter. You can be old with a dick, but that don't make you a man. So yes, Casper the Friendly Ghost did turn into a boy, but he turned into a boy. He didn't turn into a man. He had been dead for 13 damn years, didn't he? Casper was dead for a long ass time. Casper should have been an adult, to be quite honest. He turned into a little boy. That still tells you what I'm telling you. Um, Shit, Casper, what an amazing movie that was. Didn't that make childhood so wonderful? Casper the Friendly Ghost. Damn, that was a good movie. I need to watch that again. Um, that used to be my favorite movie when I was a kid. I feel you. They stole our African spirituality and put a white Jesus in our face. That is, unfortunately enough, there's a lot of truth to that. That is true. There's a lot of history that historical reference. The Bible has been copied from Africa and Sumeria and a lot of different deities, and I think that it's truth, and I think it's still a living word because it was copied. What it was copied from and what's being copied is living word. It's still God's word, but the packaging of God's word, it changes from religion to religion to religion. But the origins of it all, everything comes from Africa, and it kind of sucks that the religious history. Damn, my 4-year-old is upstairs having a party. I don't know what he's doing, but he's having a party. Um, but yeah, there's truth in it, and the Bible is living, but it's where it comes from, was alive. The original documents were living. That shit never loses its power, and its dominion. But the truth has been dispersed across multiple religions, across multiple continents, and now we just try to figure it out through man-made religion. And like I'm saying, nothing against man-made religion if it keeps you at peace, as long as it doesn't force you to judge people and hate people. More power to it, because I think that God is more intelligent than our human understanding of where that stuff comes from. And as much as we like to say our God or our church is getting into heaven and everybody else is going to burn, or everybody else is going to suffer, or everybody else is going to disappear, God is not as petty as us humans, and He understands who we're talking to when we even don't understand who we're talking to. So I don't put too much weight in the religious doctrine as much as the awareness of spirit, um, and the respect for God. Relationship with God over religion all day, every day. uh, you think the vibe you pick up can lead you to the music that correlates other souls by You think the vibe you pick up can lead you to the music that correlates to the soul's vibration, their vibrating interest towards you, if that makes sense. I think there's a lot to that. That's a whole lot of layers I can't express in the next 2 minutes, but absolutely. She says, shoot, 4-year-olds be having fun jumping around like that for absolutely no reason at all. Yeah, my son is having a party, and I don't know what the hell going on upstairs, but it's lit up there. It's not like the club upstairs. He turned the club up. Somebody, if a guy says you don't know what you do to me, should I follow up? No, that he just means you make him horny. You don't know, girl. You don't know what you do to me. It just means you make him horny, and he probably masturbates to the idea of you. And if he's not talking about you make his heart beat fast, then he's talking about you make him horny. So there's there too. But most of the time, it's just you make me horny, and he don't want to say that, so he's doing that to build sexual tension. Especially in the work setting. Yeah, in the work setting, you don't know what you do to me is you make me horny, but I can't say that. So. Listen to Kev, your man doesn't think of you doesn't want to think of you with your male friend. It's a male thing. Most male friends will predict you'll be around. And Leah, unless with when you meet a good man. Yeah, good men just don't want. They don't want to be sharing a woman with no other pair of balls. That's just not how it works. It's not even insecurity. It's just this. It goes against a man's nature to conquer and to hold territory. And as much as people might say, well, a good man is yeah, I got a haircut, but somebody might say a good man, he's not territorial. He marks his territory and or he sets a territory and creates a territory. I think nobody wants to share their woman with a man, no matter what. People ghost because they're cowards. That too, but human nature is cowardice. I'm over the cracking up, sending you protective vibes because you're talking about ghosts and hearing buzzing. Yeah, that might have been something. That might have been some kind of sign. I might have been onto something. The spirits in my house might have awakened. Like, say that, preach. I think that's what the ghost was saying in my house, was telling me to preach. You skipped my question. I don't want to skip a question, but I'm probably gonna miss these last couple because my time is really up. But I'm gonna make sure I get your question if I can find it. I think Pretty Girl might have told you to timestamp your question. I don't know where your question is. I know she said I skipped her question, but I think what we'll do is I might even hold on. Pretty Girl's gonna tell me what the question was. She said she couldn't find me. She said she couldn't find it. So she said, you said I skipped your question. It might not have went through. A few questions got taken down by YouTube. I don't know why they got taken down. So that might have been something that happened. She said, this question was skipped. Do you, future world traveler says, this question was skipped. This is the last question I'm answering, and I'm going to get off of here because we're going to watch some TV and have a good time today. We stayed up to 8 in the morning last night or this morning. She said, do you think there's a reasonable number of high quality men that are willing to wait until marriage? Nowadays this isn't common. No, it is not a common thing to do. It can be done. There are guys who have a relationship with sex that is patient enough to do that, but you got to understand that most men are going to turn to porn or other women if they're not having sex. If they've come up in a Western society where they're used to sexual gratification either being given or being thrust into their faces. Religion has lost a lot of its power at the moment too. So a lot of times the religion and the fear of ostracism from the church will keep people abstinent, but that's not necessarily the case. And people have a more liberal idea of religion, why that might be a good and bad thing. In this case, it doesn't provide itself and it doesn't lend itself well to a lot of sexual patience, especially since so many women have with the movement of feminism and feminization and women's and sexual empowerment, it really has done a disservice to women. And I think that for the women who are experiencing their empowerment, good for them. But the caveat to that and the byproduct of a woman's sexual empowerment is the loss of the loss of the sexual sanctity. And the idea that a woman is more than that sex, because you had to figure out who a woman was beyond her sex before you got to sex. Now a woman is jumping into a room vagina first when she sees a guy she likes, and whether or not that's good or bad, in my opinion, is inconsequential. The point is, men are so used to women throwing their asses and vaginas and lips and tits at a guy before she even requires a conversation from him or a direction from him about where he's taking a relationship, that now man waiting for sex is a feat. Waiting a couple of months is a feat. You're talking about waiting until marriage, unless you're in one of those really religious churches where people get married 10 or 9 times, 8 or 10 times, 5 and 6 times because they marry everybody they date. You're not going to find a guy who waits for marriage unless the marriage is coming around the corner. Like, you're going to get married in a couple of months. Meet you this month. 3 months from now, we get married. Unless you're going to be like that, then it's going to be very difficult to find a guy to wait to marriage. I'm not saying you can't find it, but you're looking for a percent of a percent of a percent of good men. So anyway, I hope that helps. And yes, I believe I preached. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Follow me at KVIC24 on Instagram. If you're looking for coaching, now I am sold out. I've sold 2 packages by accident in the last 2 days. So that's my 12 or 14. I don't even know how many I got right now, but I'm sold out. So if you have a call about getting a coaching package from me, understand that your coaching will start on April 1st. So if you want one of my coaching packages, they're $2,000, they're $1,200, and $2,000. They're the gold and silver package, $2,000 and $1,200 respectively, and they included the weekly calls and unlimited coaching text messages, voicemails between those calls, or bi-weekly calls and daily coaching text messaging and voicemail between the bi-weekly calls. Those are my two packages, gold and silver. 1,200 is the silver, and 2,000 is the gold. Weekly coaching and unlimited weekly coaching video calls or phone calls and unlimited text messages and voice notes versus bi-weekly and limited, meaning daily. So once daily, you can still get a long question answer through voice note or through text message. If you're interested in one of those and you want to start in April and you want to prepay to save your spot because I'm running out of those too, then you can link up with me, DM me, say I want coaching, put the word gold in the DM, and I'll jump into you, or put the word silver in the DM, and I'll give you the link to that coaching. So DM me on Instagram and or Facebook the words gold or silver if you're interested in starting in April, because this package, this 3 months is all sold out. I'm done. I got more people than I need actually. So y'all be cool. If y'all need coaching, come get it. If you need to save up for it, save your money for it. But I think for 3 months, that is a good deal. $2,000 is, you're not gonna be able to beat that with no dating coach anywhere, period, ever. So y'all be cool, man. Have a good night. I'm gonna get with y'all later. Make sure I get off of here or I get in trouble. Y'all be cool. Yes, I want to go. Ian, bye.